What's going on, y'all? We're back from the Cup Karts GN9, and I figured why not make a video of it, right? I have a lot of footage from the medium class. I have just about every session besides the third heat where I had taken out my SD card to go show someone a video of them getting wrecked after the second heat, and I didn't put it back in. So I have quite a bit of footage, but yeah, I figured why not make a video from it, right? We ran medium and heavy. I don't have any footage from heavy as we only had one camera. There was time to move the camera over to the heavy cart from the medium cart. However, I really just wanted to work on the chassis and get it a bit more dialed into where I wanted it. But yeah, plenty of footage, plenty of stuff to go through. Might even use a bit of the kart chaser footage. Give you all some of my thoughts on the weekend. Show you guys how I performed, how the TV cart was rolling. And yeah, super excited to be working on this and to try to piece together a decent video. We ran medium and heavy. Every year I've ran medium, we finished 20th or 21st. Besides last year we ended up 9th after penalties, which wasn't horrible. I went home pretty happy with that one. Now, I want to speak on expectations real quick. The thing with expectations at the CKNA Grand is you can go in knowing, oh, this is where I probably belong, or this is where I want to be. The thing with this event is you can't go in with expectations because you never know what's going to go on at this event. You could qualify first and not even make the main. You can qualify last and somehow go win the main. Everything is possible at this event, and I feel like the key to this event was to stay clean, stay away from certain drivers, stay in front of the mess on the starts, which, as you'll find out, there wasn't no staying in front of it. It was the entire field. And just come home in one piece was really the goal. We went into the weekend knowing we should have been somewhere within the top 15, top 20 in medium, and somewhere within the top 10 in heavy. We were hoping for a podium in heavy and to just come home somewhere in the top 20 in medium. But how stacked that medium class is, if you make the main, that's something to be proud of for sure, because there were a lot of people that ran the medium class this weekend that didn't even make the main. A lot of regional champions, even national champions that didn't even make the main this weekend. So just to make the main, that's something to be proud of for sure. So we're going to get right into the video. Now we're rolling out here for the fourth and final senior medium practice on Thursday. And the only thing we did differently for this session was we threw on a set of new rubber. And we decided to go out at the back of the grid with Kyle Wick and all the Wicked Racing boys. I really wanted to go out at the rear. I didn't want to be anywhere at the front or in the midfield. I didn't want to be caught up in anything, stuck in traffic, those types of things. I just wanted to get out, get with someone, and see what type of pace we could find. And now we're going to cut here to our best lap of the session. This is the end of the lap before that. And we're going to go silent so we can just watch the lap and see where it put me. Now the lap was a 1:13.7, and it was enough to put Kyle P30 and me P31 comfortably within the main at that point, but obviously on Thursday it's still too early to tell really where everyone's pace is, right? Now, on that lap, I had made a mistake through this corner here, through the double rights. I had made a mistake here, and then even here in Cell Tower on our fast lap right here, I'd also made a mistake. So looking over the video, I knew where I had to improve. I knew it was mostly just me and my driving. And I did feel like we were lacking a bit on the bottom. We put on a fresher clutch, and we'd also made a motor swap to a fresher Lawson rental that I believe we had sitting ready. And yeah, those were most of the changes we had ended up making before Friday morning. So P31, not horrible, but at the same time not where we want to be. So me and my dad ended up working pretty late into the night, Thursday night, to try to find some more pace for medium. And then in heavy, I believe we ended up to end the day P21, which I was very unhappy with that, but I really didn't like where we had mounted the seat for our heavy cart with all the additional weight. So we ended up moving our seat in the heavy cart forward a bit more to try to get some more weight on the front of the cart, because I really felt like the heavy cart was like sitting on the rear tire. And I felt like it was just kind of overstepping the limit of G's you can kind of put into the rear tire through the slower stuff. So yeah, we ended up moving the seat in our heavy cart, changing the motor and the clutch on our medium cart, and yeah, worked pretty hard to try to find some more pace for Friday morning. Now we're going to skip to us sitting on the grid going out for our happy hour session here on Friday. Would have shown some of the warm-up session from Friday morning, but there was so much condensation and fog that the video was unusable. So I'm always like the kind of guy that never wants to go out in the midfield. I always want to go out up front or all the way at the rear. And we chose to go out at the rear of this one because we've seen a couple of the Coyote guys back here, and bunch of the Happy Cart guys, Nick Terlecki, Sam Navrutsky, Adam Brickley, and coming around here on the first time around, not even on our first lap, and there's already carts sitting, parking lot, in scoreboard. So we almost came to a damn near stop right there, and we ended up getting rolling right here in turn number 3. Jack Sutton's going to get ran out. We're going to go to the outside and kind of follow all the Happy Cart guys through, and I mean, every year this first happy hour session right before qualifying seems to be a mess, and there's yellow flags waving. There's like someone off to our left there was carts off in the grass on the right, and all I'm trying to do here is just stay with the draft and, you know, stay around guys I know are going to be within the top 30, and just try to get some track position. But, you know, when you're in a group this big, it's too big to have, you know, everyone just want to sit and push. So everyone's still making moves, and right here, Hill on the outside of Brickley, Young on the outside of Terlecki. We're going to stay on the inside and try to keep it out of the 2 on our outside. Nick tries to get in line here and makes a bit of contact with Young. And right here, Nick kind of gets pushed out by Young, so I'm going to try to go on the inside, and then, you know, I fall out of the draft. So nowhere we can go there. A couple guys getting pushed out there, and trying to make a move here on Austin Hill, pushing Terlecki, and I kind of dragged the brakes. I wasn't sure if they were going to have contact or not. Thankfully they didn't, and we all made the corner, and Terlecki finally got the move done in 2, and kind of had to give it up there to Austin Hill, just kind of let him get back in line. But later that lap we ended up getting around Terlecki and pushing on through and finally getting a gap. And then on exit of scoreboard here, Austin Hill kind of dropped the tire, and I wasn't sure if his tires were in yet, so right here I point to the straightaway and kind of tell Terlecki, like, I'm going there, follow me if you can. And the way Austin's cart was kind of pushing through there told me everything I needed to know. Like, I can't sit here, I have to go. Because, I mean, you don't want to be rolling out in the slow group. You don't want to be in the middle group for qualifying. You know, you can't really bank on yourself pulling a toe there. You just don't want to be in that group. It's just not somewhere you want to be going out in. So made that move there and finally got us some decent track position. Now we're going to cut over to our fast lap of the session. I'm not sure who I had behind me pushing me for this one, or if there was anyone at all. But right in front of me was Jackson Young and Adam Brickley, 2 that were pretty decent throughout Thursday. and I knew that since I wasn't on, directly on their bumper, I'd be able to pull a really good toe if I could have a really good Sector 1, Sector 2. So, yeah, finally found some good track position to set us up for a good fast lap here in Happy Hour. The lap ended up being a 12.8, which put us 11th in our group and around 30th overall. Still not where we wanted to be, but I could tell the engine was much better off the bottom, and I was definitely driving a lot better on Friday than I was on Thursday, so I mean, not too much to be upset with. We still went really good in our group, just not the greatest compared to the group before us, so we rolled off about P30 overall. I want to say a couple of guys came in light, so that bumped us up a little bit in that fast group, but set us up really well for qualifying. Now, I didn't want to be the guy that pulled off to the side and impeded someone else's lap, like I had done to me my first lap, but here we're behind, I believe it's David Barnes, and this will be our quickest lap from our qualifying session. And with two mistakes on the lap, I turned in a bit too late in turn 5, and the same in the super tight hairpin, the second to last corner. Some people call it the roller coaster. I like to call it the shark fin. With two mistakes on the lap, 13.0, a little bit of draft. It's going to put us 23rd, so honestly pretty solid considering, I wasn't 3 kart lengths behind someone like a lot of the guys in the top 5, top 10 were. And about 4/10 off pole. Not too upset. Closest we've been to a Grand's pole in medium, so it's going to set us up quite well for the heats. Of course we'd like to be a bit further to the front, but it's almost a crapshoot, right? Because all the guys up front are going to be fighting super hard to stay up there, and if you can kind of find some friends to work with in the heats to kind of just stay up there, eventually you'll get there through attrition with all the wrecks and stuff. So I was pretty happy with that, and yeah, rolling off 12th for our first heat race. Now we're rolling off for heat number 1 for senior medium. I believe we were the second group of medium to go out, so we were able to watch the first group of medium, and I'm rolling off 12th. We're right behind Shane Reddy. I believe we're next to Gabe Sessler, John Antonino right in front of us. And, you know, the first lap, we're just trying to work in the tires, make sure you're not going to slide through the first corner. And something I always do here at Grants, when we take this cut through, just try to clean off the front tires. Because, you know, you run through all the debris, the marbles, whatever you want to call it, you run through that stuff. So, just trying to make sure we take care of the tires, keep them clean for the start. And, I wasn't sure how slow they wanted the starts to be. I'd only seen the class before us. But Eli in the front row brought us to a pretty slow start, which that's honestly what I prefer. I prefer the super slow starts, you know, over like a 30-mile-an-hour rolling start, which, you know, those faster starts, they really don't cater for a clean first corner. So we came to a pretty slow halt here and finally got rolling. I'm just dragging the brake here because I'm getting ran over, and you know, so is everyone behind me. And we finally punch off for the green flag. Make sure we leave enough room here for Antonino to make it through the corner. And through here, we're kind of just following Shane, and wherever Shane goes, I'm kind of going to get forced to go. We got ran over there through 3 here, and then Reddy kind of squeezes Sessler, so Sessler gives it back, and I seen them come down the track, and I'm like, I'm going to try to go around the outside, and Shane kind of got hit, and then I got kind of hit off, and thankfully we safely rejoined, didn't take out half the field in the process like we seen last year. A lot of the guys, when they get ran off there, they just come back on the track and clean out whoever's in their way. So, able to survive the first lap, but we fell back all the way to P29. So, not the greatest of starts, but hey, we're still in one piece. Cart's still quick, nothing was bent, thankfully, and we were able to pick off Heber there. And exit a green corner, someone ran off Henry Wheeler, so we're going to try to pick up the pieces if we can. And we're going to get a good exit out of here. And it took a little bit too much curb there, and we got into, I think that was Nathan Guerrero, I'm not sure. And then there's a complete mess coming out of the shark fin there. We're going to pick up the bits again, and we're going to be behind Treadwell. And right in front of Treadwell, I see Chase Jones, so I'm going to try to get to Chase's bumper and follow him through the field, because I know Chase isn't going to sit once we get to the lead group. I know he's going to be making moves, and after the previous years running the Grands, I know Treadwell will push me as long as I'm going forward. So finally getting back here in line. We're about 17th or 18th at this point, after falling from 30th, and we went super low on tire pressure for this one. I want to say we were like 11.5, maybe we were a bit lower for the first one, but pretty much survived the melee at the start. And here Chase Jones is going to make a move on Cameron Reed. I'm pretty sure they hooked bumpers, and Cameron's left side tires were dirty. You can kind of see on the outside of the left rear right there, it's pretty dirty. So I knew through this corner she was going to wash a little bit, and I was going to be able to get a run, kind of dragging the brake to not tell her I'm there, and then go for the move. Got the move done clean. Didn't really get the greatest of exits, but thankfully she pushed me out of the corner. And it's kind of tapered off after the lead group, kind of like groups of 2, groups of 3. And I wasn't sure how the first heat was going to play out here up front. I figured it was going to be a war zone. And after I talked to everyone else, they kind of had the same idea. So Chase Jones going to make a move there on Gabe Sessler. And that brought us a little closer with Reed behind me and Jonathan Treadwell. So that brought us a bit closer to them, and now we can try to push up to the lead group. Now here, sitting in line, pushing Gabe and Chase, I was completely fine to sit here. Just with the past experience at this event, you start making too many moves and you start creating some backwards momentum for yourself. That's definitely not something you want to do, and it's crucial that, early in the weekend you can, create some trust between some drivers, especially if you know they're going to be up front towards the main. And so I kind of just used my front bumper to just keep pushing us along and getting us closer. And I didn't really have much pressure from behind at this point, but yeah, I just wanted to keep on pushing along and keeping us close so that when things started to, explode up front, we were there to pick up the pieces once again. Now, coming out of the cell tower on this lap, I'd seen they were 2x2 up right in the middle of this pack here, and I had a feeling something was going to happen in green corner, because green corner is just known for the easiest place to take people out, and someone goes way off there, and now Antonino and Nick Sobiak are on our outside here. I'm dragging the brake to make sure I don't run over Gabe, and we got the move done on Nick. Of course, he's still there, but able to get that move done and slot back in line. Antonino slots back in right behind Gabe, and now coming out here, right here, I noticed Antonino had slid a little bit, so I was like, alright, I'm going to try to get the move done, and you can kind of see he just runs me down into all the dirty stuff, and I go to turn into the first corner, and I got no grip. And I don't know if that's something to be said about him not really having the senior experience, or just the fact that there's no officiating here, but I mean, it's clear as day. I got ran down the track, and you can see how dirty my left front tires got, and then I got passed by Henry. Clean move, but it's just I don't support the driving down. It's not something I was taught to do growing up. Not even when I was team racing, as there was Peyton Worm off the track after some contact with Colin after he tried to make a bold move, and right there, some even more contact. I had to almost swerve to not run over someone, and we're going to pick off about 4 spots in this lap alone. Henry making that move there on Antonino. And now I'm just having to go half defensive because that's what they're doing in front of me, and I don't want to be the guy caught out. You get caught out in that situation, you get stuck on the outside, you're just going to create more backwards momentum for yourself. And I had done some rentals with Antonino earlier in the year, and I kind of seen how he raced that, and I'm not going to lie, it's quite similar to how he's racing the Briggs, but complete respect for John and, the whole MPG crew. I know they worked really hard, and John's quite good, but at this point, I knew if I made a move on Antonino, I was likely going to get driven off the track or driven down again, and that's not really something I wanted to do in the first heat race. So I was like, alright, you kind of had some backwards momentum, I'll be the guy to sit on your bumper and try to create some forwards momentum. And Henry also made a move there on Jackson Young. Antonino's going to poke out, bit of a late move, got the move done without contact, I think. There might have been a bit of bumper hooking once again, but got the move done there, and now we're having a bit of a gap to the lead group. At this point, we're in about the 8th position, I believe, 9th position, and I'm just telling Antonino every time he looks back to just go forward, and he's still continuing to half block. And it's upsetting, right? Because, like, I'm telling you to just go. You see they're 2 wide, 3 wide in front of us, and, now you're forcing me to half block for you. And every time you look back, I'm pointing forward, telling you to go, right? So it was unfortunate how that one kind of panned out. I felt like if he hadn't done so much half blocking and maybe had been a bit more patient on the move on Jackson, we might have been able to pick off 1 more or 2 more. But I mean, solid recovery, honestly. We were back at P29, and the leader's in the same frame as my camera, so not bad at all. Solid recovery. We were quite quick in that one as well, so that gave me a bit of motivation. It's just really hard to gauge, what everyone's going to do, how to predict the moves, and to anticipate where to position yourself to make it through the next corner. But, I mean, yeah, great run through the first heat. Ended up P8 after penalties, so 16th when you put the 2 together. And can't ask for much more out of the first one. We came home in one piece. and a lot of other guys couldn't say the same, so we were pretty confident going into the heavy heat. And all there was left on Friday was the PM heats, where we started P8 in heavy, and unfortunately Cup Karts made the right decision to start all 60 of us instead of splitting us into 30 and 30. And I'm not saying splitting us into 30 and 30 would have prevented anything that happened in this heat. However, it would have prevented what happened in the second heat, and we will get to that in the next segment of these videos that I'm making in the second part. But came to the green flag here on the outside. I was able to stick it clear around the outside behind Wakefield and just kind of follow him through. And had to drag the brake here. There's a lot of checkup on the outside. And right here you can see right behind Eli Fox on the inside. Not sure if Meyer just blew the corner or if he had some help, but he ran me out here right in the middle next to James. And now James is putting us 3 wide. And at this point I'm holding on to it, just trying to make the corner. And thankfully Owen Lloyd left me a lot of space. Owen's always been super clean, so major respect to Owen. And unfortunately Owen got ran off the track right here, and I was able to just stay in front of that, and then this happened right behind there. Happened so quick you almost can't even break it down. But at the end of the first lap, we definitely lost some positions. We were about 12th or 13th, running behind Hunter Bolton. And then coming through here on the second lap, I kind of stayed behind Hunter for too long and ended up losing some spots to Owen Lloyd and Gabe Sessler, and a bunch of moves in the last corner, able to put us onto the inside going down the front straight, pushed Henry Wheeler through for a move there. And at this point, Owen Lloyd had already drove back through us. I mean, he was on the move. And then right here, Hunter Bolton, Jamie Bradford. Hunter not giving an inch, and unfortunately it's gonna put Hunter to the wayside. And yeah, that was about all that happened in the first 4 laps, honestly, for us. Not much else going on for us, and we slotted in there, edge of the top 10 still, about 11th. And then there was this move for second where Fagan kind of just turned down on Potter. I mean, I slowed it down, you can see he's definitely there going into the corner. Fagan can definitely see him, and he just turns down. But for us, I mean, put us up one easy spot, and then we were able to pick up another there with Potter just having the loss of momentum and Dolian pushing us through. And then I don't remember what caused this, but it happened right in front of me, and I had slowed down so much to avoid it. But Sessler and my buddy Clay Settles getting caught in there, Dolian piling in, we had Sean Meyer there as well, Bryce Frank barely avoiding it there at the right in the middle there, and whoever was behind Bryce didn't get so lucky because he's going to hit the side of Clay there and get pretty airborne. I think that was Tyler Dolak, but yeah, able to stay in front of that, and nothing else happened for us. We were able to just sit there, wave to the camera across the line, and come home with a P8 finish. So, again, came home in one piece, but what a war zone it was with 60 karts on track. But yeah, if you got to this point in the video, I appreciate you clicking and watching, whether it was from the link in my Instagram, Facebook, or you just found it on YouTube. I appreciate you. Leave me a comment, send me a text on Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, whatever. Just let me know what you thought of the video. And if you want me to do more like this in the future, yeah, just let me know, and I can definitely piece together some stuff in the future. But yeah, not sure when I'm gonna get to editing the second part of this video. Maybe tomorrow. Today's I'm filming this on Tuesday right now, and yeah, not sure when I'm gonna get the second part to this up. I'm leaving on Thursday to go camping. Hopefully gonna go do some fishing and stay very well hydrated, if you know what I mean. But yeah, let me know your thoughts.